It was discovered at that time Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue.
Sirens echoed through the humid Florida air. Red and blue lights danced off the calm surface of Clearwater Bay as federal agents surrounded Hulk Hogan's waterfront mansion. For years, this home was a symbol of fame and power. Now, it was a crime scene. When agents breached the marble foyer, they expected a simple search. But a faint, metallic thud underfoot changed everything. A loose floor panel, a hidden keypad, and a staircase descending into darkness. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. The silence was heavy, almost unnatural. Then came the sound. Faint breathing, whispers, chains. Flashlights flickered over narrow concrete walls lined with pipes and steel. 31 women, some barely conscious, others trembling in disbelief. The radio burst alive. "We've got multiple survivors." What they uncovered beneath the wrestling legend's mansion would soon shake Hollywood and the nation to its core. What led agents to this moment wasn't luck. It began weeks earlier during the quiet review of Hulk Hogan's estate records after his death. Hidden deep within a stack of architectural files was a single irregularity, a sublevel listed as a maintenance corridor, signed off by no known contractor. When digital scans of the mansion's structure were compared against county permits, something didn't match. There was more space underground than legally approved. The discrepancy caught the eye of federal engineers, prompting a sealed warrant. Blueprints revealed reinforced walls, ventilation shafts, and multiple exits leading toward the intracoastal waterway. The design wasn't random. It was deliberate, professional. And now, standing in that narrow passage, agents realized the drawings hadn't lied. Someone had built an entire underground system right beneath one of America's most televised homes, and it wasn't meant to be found. At first glance, the tunnel seemed like a panic room or escape route, but the layout told another story. Along its concrete corridors were cell-like chambers, each sealed by sliding metal doors. Inside were remnants of lives, torn clothes, photo IDs, and personal effects belonging to women reported missing across Florida. Agents followed the main passage until it branched into a larger chamber. The air was thick, the floor damp. On the far wall, a control panel glowed faintly. Temperature gauges, ventilation systems, surveillance feeds. It wasn't a bunker, it was a network. Every camera feed showed different rooms, some empty, others holding evidence too disturbing to broadcast. The deeper they explored, the more it became clear this wasn't new. It had been maintained, funded, and protected.
One question haunted everyone present. Who was keeping this system running after Hogan's death? Above ground, Hogan's mansion looked like a palace. Marble arches, glittering chandeliers, and panoramic ocean views. Every inch was designed to impress. Yet, behind that beauty was deception so precise it fooled everyone for decades. Investigators studying the structure found that certain walls were thicker than others, hiding hollow cavities. Beneath the indoor gym, a false flooring mechanism led directly to the tunnel shaft. The elevator that once carried guests to the wine cellar had an unauthorized fourth setting, one that bypassed the basement entirely and descended into the sublevel. Linda Hogan's fascination with French architecture once seemed like a harmless hobby. But construction files traced back to offshore contractors tied to shell companies with no real address. The entire estate had been engineered for secrecy. Still, one mystery lingered. Why would a wrestling icon admired by millions need a hidden world beneath his home? The Hogan family's picture-perfect image was starting to crack. For decades, fans saw them as television's wrestling royalty, discipline, devotion, and fame. But inside those gilded walls, investigators found signs of something else: control, fear, and silence. Financial records showed large payments from unknown accounts, labeled only as consulting. Many were routed through Brooke Hogan's entertainment company, though she denied knowledge of them. Private messages between contractors revealed that Linda Hogan personally approved renovations in 2006, the same year blueprints of the secret sublevel were finalized. What was once a home full of laughter on Hogan Knows Best now looked like the headquarters of something hidden and guarded. Agents began questioning whether the family's financial troubles after the divorce had pushed them deeper into activities that could never be made public. And yet, one name kept resurfacing in every document: the daughter who wanted out. When Brooke Hogan's name appeared in the financial logs, investigators hesitated. She had always been the family's public face of innocence. The singer, the daughter, the one trying to step away from her father's shadow. But the paper trail told a story that didn't match her interviews. A hard drive seized from the Clearwater property contained archived footage that never aired on Hogan Knows Best. In several clips, Brooke appeared in restricted areas of the mansion, guiding production staff to avoid filming that hallway. Another recording showed her entering a locked storage room beneath the garage, the same space later found to conceal the tunnel's ventilation shaft. Her bank statements revealed regular transfers from entities linked to offshore construction firms, many flagged by federal agents for suspected trafficking and tax evasion. When questioned, Brooke insisted she was manipulated, that her father had told her it was just security infrastructure. But deep down, she knew more than she ever admitted.
Days after the raid, forensics teams returned to the mansion's sublevel. Every surface was cataloged: fingerprints, fibers, digital hardware. Inside one of the sealed chambers, investigators recovered crates marked with fake shipping codes. Within them were clothes, jewelry, and dozens of IDs belonging to missing women spanning nearly 15 years. But the most disturbing find came from a locked storage unit deeper inside the network. Hidden behind an air duct was a set of digital recorders wired to ceiling cameras. Each drive contained time-stamped footage, silent, dimly lit clips showing movement inside the chambers. No sound, no context, only terrified eyes staring toward the camera. The metadata placed the recordings between 2010 and 2024, meaning the tunnel was active long after the mansion was sold. Whoever was maintaining it wasn't gone. They were still operating somewhere along the Florida coast. The FBI now had proof of continuity, but not of command. What agents uncovered next shattered any illusion that this was a family secret contained within four walls. Financial forensics traced dozens of payments from the same offshore accounts tied to the mansion's construction, only now the money was moving through entertainment firms, nightclub promoters, and private charter companies. Several of those entities were already under quiet investigation for human trafficking through Florida's coastal routes. Documents recovered from a safe deposit box in Clearwater listed shipment dates that matched missing persons reports from Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. Each entry was labeled under coded terms like guest exchange and property transfer. Federal analysts began to see the pattern. Hogan's tunnels may have been one piece of a larger logistics web that used celebrity estates as silent hubs. a network where money, fame, and secrecy shielded operations from scrutiny. And somewhere in those ledgers, an unidentified signature appeared repeatedly, someone still alive, still collecting. When the story broke, the headlines didn't last 24 hours. News networks that aired footage of the raid suddenly retracted their reports, citing source verification issues. Social media accounts sharing photos from the tunnel were suspended overnight. Even local reporters who covered the initial discovery claimed they were pressured to drop the story for legal reasons. Meanwhile, the FBI's official statement was brief, too brief. It confirmed an ongoing investigation but denied any evidence of human confinement or trafficking. Yet internal leaks painted another picture. Agents were told to seal every photograph and restrict access to all recovered drives. Neighbors reported unmarked vans arriving at the property late at night. The tunnel entrance was filled with concrete within days. The entire mansion was then fenced off under federal security. By the time journalists returned, the property looked untouched, as if nothing had ever happened. But something still didn't add up. If this was all a misunderstanding, why was every record connected to the raid erased from public access? Months later, the mansion stood silent, the palm trees swaying over land that now felt cursed. The public moved on, but investigators hadn't. Quietly, agents kept tracing the same unidentified signature found in the offshore ledgers. It led to a series of shell companies, still active, still moving money, still registered under aliases connected to names the Bureau won't reveal. Brooke Hogan has since vanished from public view. Her last known location was a gated resort in the Bahamas. Linda relocated to Nevada, declining every interview. And the estate? Purchased under a trust with no verifiable owner. Late one night, a construction worker reported hearing metallic sounds echoing from beneath the sealed ground, like something shifting in the dark. When authorities checked, they found nothing, only fresh concrete, still warm. The case file remains open, sealed under federal classification. And the last line of the final report reads, "Primary source unidentified. Possible reactivation imminent." The camera fades to black, leaving one question that no one dares answer. If the tunnels are sealed, why are the lights still on beneath the floor?